Hey, good afternoon and welcome to Race Up to Field here in Bryan, Ohio. Jim Funderburg along with Chris Malengo on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. And Christopher, I'll tell you what, there couldn't be much better afternoon to play baseball than what we have right now.
Absolutely not. It is beautiful out there right now, 64 degrees, beautiful skies, just a little bit of cloud cover, very little bit of cloud cover, and just some light winds, so it should be a great night for baseball here at Sumter Field.
You want to talk about a ball game this afternoon, man. You've got a Bryan team coming in here this afternoon with 8 wins in a row, and you've got a Stryker team coming in this afternoon that have won 7 in a row. Obviously, both these teams playing out of conference this afternoon, so you're going to see some new faces, I would think, pitching, and try to get some of the younger guys out to play a little baseball because both these teams coming off big league wins yesterday afternoon as the Golden Bears come in with a 10-2 win over Liberty Center, and Stryker with a big 7-5 win over North Central yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it's good to see both teams on a winning streak. You always like to see competitive baseball, two teams that are doing really well, and it should be a battle tonight as Bryan will be throwing Blues Creek, and Stryker will be throwing Austin Frisbee from the mound.
Bryan with a 10-2 win yesterday over Liberty guaranteed that they were going to at least tie for the NWOAL this year, and that's got to make Coach and all his guys very happy this afternoon as they know they have 2 big games still coming, though. They've got Wauseon and Patrick Henry yet. PH will be Thursday, and we'll be doing that ball game, and then next week they'll have the Wauseon Indians, and that will be the ultimate NWOAL matchup at that point in time.
Wauseon right at the top with Bryan. Wauseon is at 6-1 in the league, and they're 13-6 overall. Bryan at 6-0 in the league. So yeah, at least a share has been clinched by Bryan, and it'll be good to finish out on a winning note with a couple good wins.
Anybody that pays attention to the Northwest Ohio Athletic Conference, yesterday was a big day around the conference. Evergreen beats Delta 11-8. Montpelier. In fact, that's an old one. That's an April 6th. Let me go over to this side there. How's that, huh? Got my dates a little bit screwed up. Yesterday, Archbold beat Delta 12-4. Swanton over Montpelier 10-0. Wauseon over Patrick Henry 7-1. So there you have basically a number 2 against number 3 in PH. And then obviously the game that we talked about with Bryan defeating Liberty Center yesterday afternoon. It was a big game yesterday afternoon for the Golden Bears, and Dylan Miley with a complete game pitching. Also retired the first 10 batters that he faced yesterday afternoon. 8 strikeouts, 7 hits, no walks. Also had a triple and a single and an RBI. And when you take a look at the Stryker pitching performance yesterday, the same type of situation. Parker Roofer, who is heading for University of Toledo when he's done with his high school career, played yesterday on the mound, and he not only did he have a great afternoon pitching with allowing only 6 hits and striking out 14, he also had a grand slam in the 3rd inning as Stryker won yesterday afternoon over North Central 7-5. And when you take a look at the standings there in the BBC, Pettisville on top at 6-1. Stryker at 5-2, Eden 4-2, Hilltop 3-4, North Central 2-5, and Fayette at 0-6. So both teams had big games yesterday, and now both teams travel outside of conference here today.
And they'll play Pettisville later on in the week, and so that'll be basically number 1 versus number 2.
So the big games are coming, Chris, as you've got Bryan with Patrick Henry coming up on Thursday. And then the big showdown next week with Wauseon, and as you said, Stryker and Pettisville coming up before this week is over as well. And I'll tell you what, Chris, this is going to be an interesting afternoon for me. First time I've had the opportunity to do a baseball game here at Ray Sumter Field.
Beautiful.
Whole different look around here than what I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility, and boy, just a great place to do a baseball game.
It really is.
Let's run down that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, going back to our starting lineup as far as the Golden Bears and where they'll be out in the outfield today.
Yep, we got all them. Bailey Martin, Kyle Roop, and Connor Terrell left, right, and center. Looking at Stryker's starting lineup, leading off and batting, playing center field, it's Cameron Fry. Brody Schock will bat second and catch. Parker Roofer will bat third and play third base. Chad Roofer, the shortstop, batting fourth. Zach Tingley, your second baseman, batting fifth. Cody Hall, the first baseman, batting sixth. Tyrell Patterson batting seventh and playing left field. Jackson Wonders is your designated hitter. He's batting eighth. And Austin Frisbee, your pitcher, batting ninth.
And for Stryker this afternoon, they will lead off with Cameron Fry, and then he'll be followed by Brody Schock and Parker Roofer, followed by Chad Roofer. Hopefully we won't get that deep into this this opening inning here of batters.
Looking forward to it. And we got Blues Creek on the mound throwing his warm-up pitches.
Got nothing like a little music in the background around here.
Yep. Yep.
Our old buddy
Steve Miller.
Steve Miller in the at the controls there of the sound machine this afternoon. There you go. That helps.
Oh, your headset too quiet?
I didn't have any headsets there for a while. It was like, I think I've gone deaf here. They're dumb and whatever here this afternoon.
I'm now the crowd on the board, so you need to make sure I'm actually doing what I need to do here.
That's wonderful. Now I can hear. That makes things a whole lot better. All I could hear was take me out to the ball game there for a minute ago, and it was kind of hard. I was watching your lips go, and I was trying to read your lips, but it wasn't working really well. This should be a fun afternoon. In fact, I was told that by a couple of folks already, Chris, if this is the kind of weather you and I are going to bring, then we need to be here every day.
Hey,
How's
I'll
that?
tell you what, it is beautiful out, and it's nice in the sun. It's cool in the shade, but it's a beautiful day for baseball, and no threat of weather until later tonight. There's a 20% chance of rain tonight, but the rest of the week's supposed to be really good too. Thursday, I think we're even good for our game on Thursday when we have Patrick Henry. So,
looking forward to that ball game too, and that one will mean a whole lot for this Golden Bear baseball team as they get ready for next week when they'll have their showdown with the Wauseon Indians. And as you said here this afternoon, you've got Blues Creek pitching this afternoon. Only pitched 3 innings so far. He's only been in 1 game. He is 1-0 though, as he has 1 win already, and he will start off. And the ball will be fouled right straight back and out of play, and that will be strike 1. So Blues with an opportunity this afternoon to get a little time on the mound, and that's a good situation when you get your young guys out there and get a little game experience, especially against some good talent like Stryker.
Absolutely.
Second pitch also fouled right back to the backstop this time, and it's now no balls and 2 strikes as Blues Creek trying to stay out in the head here early and trying to get these Stryker Panthers out in order here in the first. Cameron Fry leading off.
Your center fielder.
Fry swings and misses. Knisley not able to hang on to the ball, but he'll throw down to first, and that will be 1 up and 1 out here this afternoon as the Golden Bears off to just the kind of start I'm sure the Blues Creek would like to be. Strikeout on the very first batter of the afternoon.
That brings up Brody Schock, your catcher.
Schock coming into the ball game. We've got some stats pretty much on Bryan this afternoon, but not on the Panthers. So unfortunately, we won't be able to give you a lot of information on the Stryker Panthers. But you are looking at a baseball team that has won 7 in a row, and a very good baseball team. And it'd be interesting to see how these 2 teams do play today, with somewhat of an off day here today, in between BBC games for Stryker and NWOAL games for Bryan.
Got 2 ball count already on Schock.
Creek with this one a little bit high, maybe a little outside. And Schock now has a 3-0 hitters count here.
See if he gets the green light to go or if he'll just take.
Creek delivers to the plate. That one's outside. So Creek starts with a strikeout and then a walk as he sends Schock down to first base. And Parker Roofer, the third baseman, coming up the plate. As we said, Parker Roofer heading to Toledo next year. Had a great game yesterday afternoon of pitching. And pretty good baseball player all the way around. You can tell the young man played a little basketball, a little baseball, just a good solid athlete all the way around. And Blues will start him off with a strike right at the knees on the inside corner of the plate.
Well, that took a long time for the ump to call that one. Knisley does a good job always of framing the pitch so the ump can see where it was in the zone.
You know, Derek Knisley, a really fine football player. We got the chance to watch him play wide receiver, as this one will be fouled out of play down that right field line. But I think he might even be a better catcher, Chris, from everything that I've seen. You know, that young guy does exactly what you say, a really good, solid guy behind the plate for the Golden Bears. So Roofer the batter, runner on first, 1 out here. If you just joined us, just underway here. Golden Bears and the Panthers. And strike 3. Blues Creek fires it out. Quick throw down to first, not in time. But Blue Creek now has faced 3 batters in the top of the first. He struck 2 of them out, and also his first walk of the afternoon.
Yep. That'll bring up Chad Roofer, the shortstop, and both he and Fry use this bright orange bat.
We're not going to miss the bat, are we, huh?
No, we're not.
Throw over to first just to keep the runner honest over there as Shock got a pretty good lead. Got to get him dirty down there at first base a little bit, Chris. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you're the pitcher, doggone it, you want to keep him close. Fastball fouled off for strike 1. Getting my bearings around here, but boy, I tell you, I love the press box where we do the DC games. You've only got one little window look out, and you can't see left field most of the time. Here I've got a bit of a wall, but I can get around it to the atrium over here and take a look out into left field.
Just a great facility.
No balls, no balls, 2 strikes now. Yeah, great facility. Fouled off at the plate. Got to believe Coach Inselman really happy with the way that his team's kind of starting and the way Blues Creek has handled himself here with his opportunity this afternoon.
The only balls he's thrown are the 4 pitches he threw to Brady Shock to get a walk.
Well, you know that's what they say. If you're gonna be successful as a pitcher, you really need to throw strikes. Now you don't want to throw them so well that they're leaving the yard all day long, but you definitely need to be around the corners. And Blues Creek off to a really good start here in inning number 1. That one fouled off again. So Chad Roofer trying to hang in there. Runner at first, 2 out. No score here early. Nice crowd from both schools here. Golden Bears right behind us, and they're going to say that Chad offered at that one. So Blues Creek will get out of the first inning. No hits, 3 strikeouts.
Yep, no runs, no hits, no errors. They left 1 on, and we head to the the bottom of the first inning. Back after this on BMU TV. Back out at Bryan Sumter Field, it's going to be Dalen Miley, Derek Nisley, and Nate Rao leading off here in the bottom of the first inning. Nothing as Blues Creek had 4 up and 4 down. Well, 4 up and 3 down, I guess.
Yeah.
Gave up the 1 walk. So.
Well, maybe unless we're going to do one of those things where we're going to be nice hosts here today and give them four tries.
Nah,
we can do that. What do you think?
Think so.
Coach Inselman probably not real happy with us if we do something like that.
Probably not. So let's run down our sponsors bringing you the game today.
Ball game being brought to you by Bryan Ford, by Krill Funeral Home, Genesis Healthcare, Culligan Water Softening, Northwest State Community College, and Wheelan Automotive. And we thank them for their support of the Golden Bears all year long. And especially on this pretty Tuesday afternoon.
I'll real quickly run down the Bryan batting order. Miley leading off and playing second. Nisley batting second and playing catcher. Nate Rao batting third short. Chris Whitler is cleanup and the designated hitter. Kyle Roop is batting fifth, the center fielder. Blues Creek is pitching and batting sixth. Bailey Martin, left fielder, batting seventh. Ethan Retcher playing first base and batting eighth. And Connor Terrell batting ninth and playing right field. Austin Frisbee, your pitcher for Stryker.
Miley comes in with a 368 average for the season. He's got 14 RBIs, scored 14 runs, 21 hits on 57 at-bats. And got a couple of triples on the year and 4 doubles. And it'd be a good situation right here, maybe to open things up with a big extra base knock here to get things going for the Golden Bears. And he watches this one go a little bit wide, ball 1.
We'll run down Stryker's defensive lineup here after this batter.
Miley watches that one bounce before the plate, so 2 balls and no strikes here as Miley opens up looking maybe for that first walk of the afternoon for the Bears. Runner's a runner here this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Big ball yard, although they don't have the numbers marked down there as far as footages to right, center, and left, but a big park that'll hold most hits that any of these guys are going to put out there with as Miley gets watches that first strike. 2 balls and a strike now on Miley. Nobody out here on the Bryan half of the first. Low and outside, 3 balls and 1. Get a little music going there. Steve Miller, I'll tell you what. He's got to play a little Steve Miller. He's Steve Miller, right? Isn't that the way it's got to be? High and inside, Miley will draw a walk to open everything up.
All right, running through that defensive lineup, your pitcher is Austin Frisbee. Brody Schock is your catcher. At first base, Cody Hall. Zach Tingley at second. Chad Roofer at third. Parker Roofer at Chad Roofer at short. Parker Roofer at third. Tyrell Patterson in left field. Cameron Fry in center, and Colton Anders in right field. And this will bring up Derek Nisley, your catcher.
Nisley played in all 15 games so far this year. Batting .359, 16 RBIs, and he watches that pitch go a little bit low and outside. So just like that, Frisbee having a little problems finding the strike zone here early, Chris.
That's a good situation.
Always a good thing. Miley will get a good lead at first base, and that one's in the dirt. Miley's on his way to second, and he'll be down at second without even a throw, as the catcher had to, Schock had to dig that one out of the dirt and then follow it all the way towards the third baseline.
So he moves up on the pass ball.
So just like that, Bears have runner at second base with nobody out as we open up this baseball game. Bottom of the first, no score here early. Ball outside.
Nope.
Nope, they're going to call a late strike. Boy, I hate it when they do that.
He has got the late calls, man.
It's 2 balls and a strike now. On Derek Nisley, the catcher. That one's low and outside, 3-1. And just like that, Frisbee in danger of walking the first 2 batters that he's faced here this afternoon. Bears already have a runner down at second base on the walk, and then the advancement on the pass ball. And that's outside, and just like that, Derek Nisley will draw walk number 2 here to open up this ball game.
For the Golden Bears,
great position to be in if you're Nate Rao. No outs, runners at first and second. And Parker Roofer comes in from third to talk to his pitcher, Austin Frisbee.
Rao's batting .488 on the season. He's got 13 RBIs, 21 hits, 43 attempts. Home run, triple, and a couple of doubles. Extra base hit right here could score a couple. Rao, the right-hander, stands in. Frisbee throws a strike.
Gotta wait.
Yeah, you do have to wait on those.
Gotta wait till the ball goes back to the pitcher before you can give those.
From the vantage point that we have, you really can't tell strikes and balls oftentimes, and so you do have to wait on the umpire, and he's deliberating there.
Yes, he is.
Base hit into left field. Runner's going to hit third and head towards home, and the first run of the afternoon will be scored by the Bears as Miley never broke stride. Coach Inselman waved him all the way from second base, and just like that, the Bears up 1-0 here in the first. Chris Whitler now, the cleanup hitter with runners at first and second and nobody out for the Golden Bears. Frisbee off to a real rocky start here this afternoon, and that one's high. Ball 1.
Frisbee's only thrown 4 strikes, and that includes the hit to Rao.
Again, you probably are thinking that Frisbee's their number 3 or 4 starter on the year right now, and he's having a tough afternoon here at Sumter Field. Whitler lets that one go by, and we wait the appropriate 3 minutes and 35 seconds, and that's ball 2.
It was outside, big time.
2 balls, no strikes now to Whitler. Rao leads off at first, Nisley leads off at second. That one's high.
Wonder if they were looking for a pitch out, like a double steal.
Yeah, looking for something because that ball
catcher came way up.
3 balls and no strikes. 4th batter of the inning. 2 walks and a Nate Rao single, and the Bears are up 1-0. That one's outside, and Whitler will trot down to first base, and the base is now juiced.
Kyle Roop, your center fielder.
Center fielder, Kyle Roop.
Nice deep triple would be nice.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Roop on the year, batting .419. 11 RBIs with a chance to add to that total here this afternoon. Right now, that one's low and away, and it's Ball one. Again, I'll tell you what, Frisbee having a tough start to this first inning. Infield pulled in on the corners. Second and short playing about normal depth. Looking for that double play ball. That's a strike, 1-1. Nobody out, first inning. Base hit into left field for Roop. That's going to score a couple of them as Rao will take the turn. Whitler's on his way to third. He stopped at second, but he'll be safe at third base. And just like that, Roop will be in at second. Big Whitler, Chris runs a little like I do. Slides a little like I do too, man.
He's a couple inches short there. Good thing the ball wasn't.
I'm impressed, man. He's just become my favorite Golden Bear on the base path right now. Anybody that runs like me, I gotta like. And just like that, Bears up 3-0 here in the first.
That'll bring up Blues Creek, your pitcher.
Creek watches that first one go a little bit high.
I think it's safe to say we won't see Mr. Whitler steal home.
No, I don't think so. I would go along with that. For Creek, 342 on the year so far. And he has 12 RBIs. And that one's hit to the second baseman. Tough hop, though. He'll pick it up. He'll throw to first. Creek will be retired for the first out by about a step, but a nice job there by Creek. Hustling down that first baseline. Hull dug that ball out and was able to hang on to it. So first out of the afternoon for the Bears, but Whitler does score on the ground out.
So you got a RBI there.
So 4-0 now, Bears.
So we got Bailey Martin, your left fielder.
Martin up with one out and a runner at second. And that was a little high.
At the eyeballs. Woo.
Yeah. But you always have to wait with this guy, though, Chris, because you never can tell, huh? 1 ball, no strikes. Frisbee having a rough start to a pretty Tuesday afternoon, and that was also high. 2 balls and no strikes.
I'd watch for Roop on the base path. He is a speedster.
Looking down at Coach Inselman down here at third base. Third baseman Roofer. This one's flied into right field, and the right fielder Anders camps underneath of it, and he'll have the second out of the inning. With that, the advancement down to third by Roop. And the Bears will have a runner at third now with 2 men out here in the first.
For the Golden Bears, first baseman Ethan Retcher.
Ethan Retcher now, the first baseman, with an opportunity here still to score one more time. Base hit will make it 5-0 here in the first. And Retcher will watch the first one be called for a strike. I always love those umpires like that. Love it even better when you're right behind them and behind the plate and you think you know what it is, but you still have to wait. That one's outside, even to count of 1-1.
Retcher, the 8th batter in the inning.
Bears doing a good job to get off here early. And you kind of wonder, days like this, Retcher's got one that's going to find the grass out in center field, and that will plate run number 5 as Retcher with an RBI now. And Bears come out with some pretty hot sticks to open up this first inning. You always kind of wonder about that, Chris, when you come off a big game like yesterday for both these teams. You're going to be a little flat. How things going to happen right now? It looks like the Bears are right in their stride. And Stryker at this point in time having some problems, and it starts right there with their pitcher, Frisbee.
Connor Terrell is...
That hit him. That hit Terrell right in the back.
That'll bring Dalen Miley up again. He walked his first time out, which was earlier this inning.
Yeah. Seemed like it was a long time ago, but...
Dalen Miley.
Austin Frisbee. What's he got, 3 walks and a hit batter now for this first inning, Chris?
Yep, I believe that's true.
Something close to that, and then a couple of base hits. 3 hits, 3 walks, and a hit batsman. And that's going to be ripped into center field. Center fielder picks it up.
3 walks and a hit batsman.
That'll score Retcher. And the Bears now take a 6-0 lead as Terrell scampers into third base, and the Bears now have
Bryan,
one corner
catcher, Derek, nicely.
with 2 out nicely up to the plate.
Nicely walked his first time up.
Gotta love that, huh? All of a sudden, the Bears starting to really zone in on Austin Frisbee. That one's way outside. And you just have to wonder about Frisbee and how long they'll go with him here this afternoon. Obviously, kind of an off day. We run rule in high school, though, too,
Yes,
don't we,
do
huh?
After the 5th inning.
So, could be one of those situations, too, as you
It's
said.
an out of league. It's, you know, you always want to win games, but
Yeah, on a day like today.
you're going to be really looking for Pettisville. That's a bigger game than this for as far as Stryker goes.
Exactly. Well, again, both these teams have a big conference game coming up on Thursday, and you're right. Pettisville is in the sights here for Stryker on Thursday, and Pettisville at 6-1 in the BBC right now, and Stryker at 5-2. Pettisville only 8-4 for the year, and Stryker 11-4. So obviously they have a lot of bad weather that's postponed some ball games here. That one's fouled away. And Nisley now with a 2-2 count with 2 out and runners on the corners. But you're right. You would think that would be a ball game that they really have in their sights. And again, they'll probably go back to their ace, who is the young man down at third base right now, and Parker Roofer. Base hit. That'll be over the second base bag. That'll score a run. Runners heading towards third. Throw will come into the shortstop, and the Bears will hang out at the corners. And that's run number 7 now in the first. And I'll tell you what, want to open things up and open them up early. The floodgates are wide open and the water is flowing.
That'll bring up Nate Rouse, 1 for 1. He singled to left field his first time up.
Rao kind of got it all going after the first couple of walks. And he was able to lace that thing into to center for the RBIs. And from that point in time, seems like each and every batter has been able to figure out Austin Frisbee. Rao watches a strike 1.
That's a good call. You don't want to be swinging on the first pitch the way he's been today.
Yeah, no, let him go ahead and throw that first ball and then worry about it from there. But that one right down the center of the plate. Bet if Nate had another opportunity, he'd take a swing at that one. This one in the dirt, but he swings, strike 2. Nate, I'm sure, I don't know whether Nate's committed any place for next year or not, but I know he'd like to go on and play some baseball. Oh man, there we go. We got snacks coming up. Look at this. It's always good to see a guy bringing you a hot dog like that.
Another base hit for Rao.
Nate bounces one into center field.
Oh, he's going all the way to
Nisley
third.
will end up at third, and Rao will scamper down to second on the throw to third. And just like that, the Bears now up 8-0, and we're still in the first inning. What does that hat say, man? Woody. Oh, my gosh. Look at that Ohio State Woody Hayes hat, huh? Goodness gracious. Let's hope you're not as ornery as Woody Hayes was.
They'll bring Whitler up. He walked the first time up. This is now the second time through the order here in the bottom of the first inning.
And what I'm happy with is to see the big fella down there with the dirt on that left thigh, because you can see that he slid into third there, you know. That was also a good thing. When I was playing baseball, I did get my uniform dirty. That was the important part. Even if I sat on the bench all day long, I came home with a dirty uniform. That was part of the mystique with their swings and misses the off-speed pitch. Bears with runners at second and third, 2 out. 8-0 here in the opening inning here on BMU TV. Good to have you with us here.
There's a huge gap between right and center.
That ball bounces just about at the plate. That'll even everything up at 1. Frisbee in for a long first inning here for
He's
Stryker.
at 39 pitches. This is pitch 40.
Wow, and that one's inside, almost hit Chris. They're able to step away from that fastball. It's 2-1 now. Bears with 6 hits. Stryker with one error.
Oh.
And Whitler rips this one down the left field line and fair. And it'll go all the way to the wall. That's going to clear the bases as Whitler heading towards second. And he'll motor it into base number 2 and stand right there. And just like that, the Bears with double digits here in the first inning. Well, you got to be happy if you're Coach Inselman with the way that this thing's all going right now. And with that, we may have a pitching change.
Well, Kyle Roop is your next one up. He doubled his first time up to left field. Let's see what they're going to do.
Brett Greiser is the head coach there at Stryker, and he's out on the mound right now. I don't know. You know, again, with a day like today, kind of an off day in between, you really would like for Frisbee to give you at least 3 or 4 innings here this afternoon.
They may bring in Roofer. I don't know. I don't think they should. I don't know.
No, I don't know what the I don't know how many innings they're allowed to pitch in a week. But if you've got Pettisville coming up, I would bet that maybe his brother would be in.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you go to Chad instead of Parker. But after Parker went all 7 yesterday, Parker Roofer number 5 out there, the big tall guy there on the mound, got to give a little encouragement to his
I think they're just going to keep him in.
Yep. Well, I would almost bet that they're gonna get as much as they can out of him, and if that means they play 5 and get beat, 22-0 this afternoon, that's just where it's going to be, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
Because the big one, as you said, comes up on Thursday when they get a chance to go play Pettisville. This one fouled up, and it'll get out of play over the Stryker dugout.
If I didn't say it, Roop doubled his last time up to left. I don't know if I did or not.
He's got the speedy Chris Whitler down at second base right now, just waiting to light up that base pass. Roop swings and misses. That's no balls and 2 strikes now as Frisbee trying to get out of the inning. And it's been a good inning for the Bears. Frisbee high, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kyle Roop hanging in there, looking for something he can drive because it's been just kind of batting practice. This one gets past the catcher's shock and goes all the way to the backstop. And Chris Whitler will jog down to third base. And the Bears have the opportunity now with a runner on third and 2 out to add to that total. That's got to be really, for Austin Frisbee, it's got to be a tough way to get started here this afternoon.
This will be pitch 46.
Oh, gosh. Just like right at this point in time, he would just like to get out of this inning and get a chance to get over to the dugout and maybe start to refocus a little bit, because it has been a long and very productive inning number 1 here for the Bears. Ground ball to second. This could do it. Pick up and over to first. Roop not there quite in time as Roofer able to pick that one up and send it over for the out. With that, that'll do it for the inning, huh, Chris? But it was pretty productive for the Bears.
Yep, 10 runs on 7 hits, no errors, 1 left on, and we will head to the top of the second inning. It is 10-0 Golden Bears. Back after this on BME TV. It'll be Zach Tingley, Cody Holland, Tyrell Patterson for Stryker, as Bryan puts up a 10 spot in the bottom of the first inning. 10-0 here from Sumter Field. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg, and Jim, they got moving pretty good to start things off.
I'll tell you what, you've got to be really happy with the way that the Bears got off and took care of business in that first, all the way around, because you take a look at the way the Blues started with 3 strikeouts in that first inning, and then the Bears come up and put a 10 spot on the scoreboard there to on their half of the first, and just like that, the Bears sitting in a pretty good spot. See if Blues Creek can keep this momentum up here this afternoon. A high heat, and we'll wait, but that was a little bit too high. It was ball 1.
Bryan went through that lineup, went through the first 9 batters and then 5 more.
Fly ball left field. Martin underneath of it, and he'll make the first put out of the second inning here for the Bears.
Stryker at first base.
And this is the
Cody
sixth
Hall.
batter for Stryker.
Man, just hard to imagine, isn't it? Huh? Cody Hall now. Bears batted around and went about, halfway through
Yeah,
again?
5 batters.
Ball 1 as Blues Creek starts the second batter here of the inning out with the ball. And that one a little bit low and inside, ball 2. Bears with 7 hits so far. That one's a little bit inside. Stryker yet to find that first hit of the afternoon.
They had 1 base runner who had a walk.
And that'll be the second walk of the afternoon for Blues Creek as they will send Cody Hall down to first.
That'll bring up
Stryker's
Tyrell
left fielder,
Patterson, the
Tyrell
left fielder.
Patterson.
And it looks kind of to me like Cody Hall has about the same kind of motor that I've got down there at first. So a ground ball in the infield, and you've got the opportunity to end this inning. That one's inside, ball 1.
The low 2.
Tyrell Patterson. There you
That's
go.
never a strike.
I thought that looked like it was pretty much right down the middle. Even that count to 1-1. Swing and a miss. Patterson chased the high one.
And he was swinging for the fences, man, with that swing.
He really was. And he was a little bit late. So Blues get some pretty good juice on that baseball. There's a ground ball to second. This could do it. To short and then over to first, and the Golden Bears go from Rao over to Retcher and out of the inning just like that. So the double play erases the lone runner in the second inning. And the Bears defensively doing pretty well, Chris, and it's kind of some skinny stats there for the Panthers from Strikers.
Yeah, they did not do so hot there as it was, excuse me, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. And we head to the bottom of the second inning, still 10-0 here on BMU-TV. Blues Creek, Bailey Martin and Ethan Retcher here in the bottom of the second inning, 10-0.
Leading off for the Golden
Bryan
Bears,
leading over
pitcher,
Stryker.
Blues Creek.
And Chris Mulang and Jim Funderburg with you. And let's see if the second time facing Austin Frisbee is like the first time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure Coach Inselman and the Bears would love to see that happen. And this one is grounded to third. Nice pickup at third by Roofer. Long throw over to first will be in time. So it's 1 out and 1 down. 1 up and 1 down. And Frisbee, was where I was heading with that whole thing, would like to see it go a little bit smoother, I think, in the second inning after he just got rocked in that first inning of play.
So we're on Bailey Martin. He flew out to right his first time up.
That was low into the dirt. It's Roofer and Roofer on the left side. Parker Roofer playing third and Chad Roofer then at shortstop. Tinsley and Hall then. Tinsley at second, Hall at first. And that one is a called strike. 1-1.
First pitch hit the plate and came up and hit Shock in the face guard.
Not a place that you really want to be. Kind of an off-speed pitch there will be ball 2. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about playing catch. Pretty hard on the digits most of the time, and balls bouncing up out of the dirt and into the face mask of the chest protector, and that was low into the dirt again. And Frisbee now behind 3-1 in this count. 1 man out, nobody on here as the Bears try to have another big inning here in the second as they're up 10-0. Here's a shot that'll get past Roofer and into left field for a base hit.
What are we scoring that one?
I think that's going to probably be a base hit. That was a
It's hard
rocket shot down the third base line, and he really only had 1 shot at it. I'm not even sure he got a glove on it. It was kind of hard to see.
First baseman, Ethan Retcher.
If you want my official scoring, which I'm unofficial, obviously, I'm going to give him a base hit.
I think I was going that way too. Here's Retcher. He is 1 for 1 with a single to center.
Retcher
right in the
punches
gap.
that one out into right field.
Right in the gap.
That just barely made it out into right field as Ethan Retcher went with that pitch and just punched it between the first baseman and second baseman where that big gap was, Chris, and that finally rolled its way out into the outfield.
Connor Terrell up now. He'll want a lick at this guy. The first time up, he got hit by pitch number 1.
Bears with runners at first and second. 1 out here in the second. 10-0 lead. And this one's hit well to center field. Center fielder drops back. That's Fry. He'll make the catch relatively deep in center. And that'll keep the runners at first and second. Now 2 out. Bears would like to score a couple more runs because that is one thing on a game like tonight. If you get off to a big lead like that, 10-0, I would think that you'd like to get a short evening out of this one too. Try to get to 5, shut it down, head to the house.
Miley's up for his 3rd time. He's 1 for 1. He walked and singled to center.
Miley watches strike 1 right down the middle of the plate. Runners at first and second with 2 out here in the second. Bears already with 9 hits on the afternoon. That one's going to go way over the catcher's head. Shock and find its way to the backstop, and the runners will advance.
Gonna call that a wild pitch.
I think so. I think so. Yep.
There's always that distinction between pass ball, wild pitch. That was no distinction right there.
You'd had to have a
wild
ladder and some sort of a long device even after that to be able to get to that one. That was way over Shock's head. He didn't have a chance at that one. Breaking ball that just got away, I'm sure, from the pitcher Frisbee.
Martin at 3rd, Retcher at 2nd.
Ground ball to short, and that'll find its way into left field, and that's going to plate a couple. And just like that, the Bears up 12-0 here in the second.
So bring Nisley up. He singled. He walked and then singled to left field both times in the first inning.
That's pretty impressive when you get into the second inning and when you're in your 3rd time to the plate, isn't it, huh? Yeah, it's been that kind of afternoon for both the Bears and the Panthers, and that one's outside corner, strike 1. I'm not sure that maybe he missed the young man in the black face mask didn't help just a little bit on that one. Looked like the catcher had to stretch a smidge outside to catch that one, but umpire waited, thought about it, and then called it a strike. Shot into right field. That'll be a base hit. Martin will go to 3rd, and the Bears are on the corners with 2 out. That'll bring up Rao. Nate Rao.
Nate Rao is 2 for 2. Singled twice. Both to left field.
Bryan, shortstop, Nate Rao.
Both these teams come in here this afternoon with winning streaks. The Bears have won 8 in a row, and the Panthers with 7 in a row. Bears trying to extend that streak, and we'll be back here Thursday night for the Patrick Henry game. Obviously, I got to believe that means a little bit more to Coach Inselman when you're working with your home squad there. With Inselman name, obviously everybody knows that name from PH.
Yep.
And to get that Patrick Henry team over here on a Thursday night, that's got to give you just a little bit more motivation.
2 balls on Rao already.
Got a pitcher warming up down here in the bullpen too. Chris will have to do a little looking on that one too.
I think it might be Austin Hutchinson.
We'll catch a number here. I have not been able to see that. Is it 27?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's 13.
18 maybe. Alabama? Or Blues, because 13 is Blues Creek, so he's already in.
All right.
I bet it's Alabama. But you're right, though. It's tough to see that number. It's either there's a 1 and a something on the other side of that shirt. I bet it's Alabama. A little bit high. I'll tell you what, Frisbee has had some problems keeping that ball down and in the strike zone.
He's evenly split, 32 balls and 32 strikes. Now
my gosh.
The strikes count every time a ball is hit. It's counted as a strike.
Okay, okay. And that one.
Ooh, call that a strike?
Going to be called a strike. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reynolds will be on the move here with this pitch. Bears up 12-0 here, bottom of the second. This one's hit to Roofer at 3rd. He'll field, long throw to first, pulled the first baseman off the bag, but I do believe he made the tag.
Yep.
Cody Hall gets the put out down to first base, and that'll end the second inning.
So let's see here. The run did not score, I don't believe.
Nope.
Nope. So we had for Bryan, it was 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on, and we head to the top of the 3rd inning. It's 12-0 here on BMU TV. It'll be Jackson Wonders, Austin Frisbee, and Cameron Fry here for Stryker. Whole bunch of changes to tell you about. Bryce Alabata is your new pitcher. Zach Kern, your new second baseman. Luke Nye is your new shortstop. Connor Terrell is your new left fielder. Blues Creek is your new center fielder. And Tyler Roget, your new right fielder.
So the Bears, real quickly, with a 12-0 lead, going to get some new faces out in this lineup. Good afternoon already for Blues Creek. He pitched 3 the last time he was out, 2 today, and I tell you what, you got to be pretty impressed with the way that young man has represented himself in these 5 innings. And now you go to the big left-hander now with Alabata. And he's not wasting any time. This is a little bit of a pop fly to second, and Rao will pull that one in for.
Actually, Zach Kern pulls it in.
I'm sorry, Kern for out number 1. Had to look down and check my scribbles there for a minute. Yep.
A little easier on the computer to move people around than it is on your paper.
It is, isn't it, huh? In fact, Rao was at short, so they've pulled Rao out and put Nye in at short,
9.
Kern at second.
Yep.
There you go. We'll get it all figured out here with all those scratches and scribbles. And Alabama will start Frisbee off with a ball 1. Interesting to see whether Frisbee will come out and pitch here in inning number 3. As Alabama in the hole, 2 balls and no strikes to the opposing pitcher, Austin Frisbee. And we'll wait for the delayed call there. They're going to decide that's a little bit high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes now. Well, it's been, 2 base runners, and both of them have been walks so far,
Yep.
Chris, for Stryker. And that will be base runner number 3 in the 3rd inning. And they're all 3 walks, no hits yet, have been relinquished by the Bryan pitchers.
Finally, the top of the order for Stryker in the top of the 3rd inning. Cameron Fry was 0 for 1. He was thrown out on a drop 3rd strike.
So Fry with an opportunity maybe with a runner at first to try to get the Panthers offense in gear. And Alabata will start him out with a strike as he swings and misses on a fastball right around the letters, right down the middle of the plate.
I look at that kid and I think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Fry, Cameron Fry, Ferris Bueller's best friend.
That's terrible. Well, it's all kind of an 80s kind of thing that we got going on right now, music and
Absolutely.
Ferris Bueller and, it's all that kind of stuff. Ball and a strike now with 1 out. And again, that bright orange bat is something that the Panthers really enjoy passing around, don't they, huh?
They do.
They're going to change bats if they can't connect with that baseball here this afternoon. And, ooh, strike called. That looked like a good pitch.
Yep.
Had to wait for a minute. Ball and 2 strikes now on Fry. Bears pitching has been excellent so far this afternoon. Throw back over to first, but the runner's back. Outfield kind of shallow in right now and left. In fact, all the way around. Center field about normal position, but cheating in right and left, and called strike 3 as Alabata froze Cameron Fry at the plate. There's 2 outs now here in the 3rd.
Brody Schock up next. He's your catcher. He is 0 for. He walked his first time up.
Stryker catcher Brody Schock.
So Stryker in a very familiar spot. That's with a runner on first who made his way down to first on a walk, and 2 outs as Alabata will throw over to first to keep Frisbee close. Nobody warming up on the Stryker side, so I would bet that Frisbee's going to come out to the hill for the 3rd. This one's fouled off right in front of us. No balls and a strike to the catcher. Alabama fires. This one's foul down the third baseline. Good cut. That was about the best wood that any of the Panthers have gotten on a pitch so far from any of the Golden Bears pitchers, and that one just fouled third base.
Or aluminum, as the case may be.
There you go, aluminum. Yeah. Well, I'm going back to the '80s, man. I want to put the wood back in the game. No balls and a couple strikes. 2 out. Oh, that looked like a good one. 1 and 2. That one was close. Tough to really take those with 2 strikes on you. But Shock did, and he was right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ooh, almost the same spot. 2 and 2.
Must be just a little outside for him.
Tough to see from this angle. But obviously, Shock didn't like either one of those, and neither did the umpire. This one's fouled back and out of play. 2 and 2, 2 outs. Top of the third, Bears up 12-0 here on BMU TV. Again, if you're enjoying the ball game tonight, we'll have the game on Thursday with Patrick Henry. This is a tapper. It'll head to third. Creek picks it up. Long throw to first in time. Paris Creek with a nice job to field and fire to first. And just like that, the Panthers again go without any kind of runs.
Yep, no runs, no hits, no errors. They did leave one on. Alabama with only 17 pitches in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third after this on BMU TV. It will be Chris Whitler, and then we're not sure because of the all the pitching changes, all the changes last inning. But it is Bryan 12, Stryker nothing. It actually is not going to be Chris Whitler. It is going to be number 5.
Paris Creek, yep.
Paris Creek. So we will substitute Paris Creek in for Mr. Whitler.
And Austin Frisbee will remain in as the pitcher here for Stryker right now. And you kind of wonder, with nobody warming up down in the bullpen for Stryker,
Number 5,
where their coach Greiser has just said, Austin, it's yours, buddy. Get us home. And Paris Creek will lead things off. Paris, after a real nice put out as he fielded that ground ball at third to end the top of the third inning. And he'll swing and miss the off-speed pitch. Frisbee does look like he has settled in just a little bit here after that first inning where they rocked him for 10, Chris. But the Bears able to collect a couple there in the second. And I'm sure they'd like to add a couple more runs for insurance right now. This fly ball will be in shallow right field, and that's going to be tough to find. And it will bounce into foul territory. Creek's on his way to second, and he'll hold right there. And just like that, the Bears open up with a double. And that was about as tough a spot as you could get. The first baseman, Paul, tried to chase it down that right field line, and the right fielder had a long run from his spot there in straightaway right field.
This will be Bryce Alabama, your pitcher.
Ball hit and rolled into foul territory. And by that time, Paris Creek had made his way to first, stopped, identified what was going on, and headed down to second. Now Alabama will watch the first pitch go by high for a ball.
I think Blues Creek will be your next batter, but you never know.
Looks a lot like a creek down there, doesn't it, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, what? Good-looking guys, man. Wish their dad was that good-looking. They must take after their mom, is all I can say. You know what I mean? The Creek boys all take after mom, and that's why they're such handsome young men. But they got their dad's personality, I'm sure, you know? Fly ball. That one's going to be trouble out in left field, and that one will find the grass and bounce past the left fielder. And the Bears will have runners at the corner here with nobody out in the third. Got to make that comment because Dad's up here kind of close to us right now. Dustin just on the other end of the press box right now.
It will be Blues Creek, and he is 0 for 2. He grounded out twice, once to second, once to third.
So the Bears have him on the corner with nobody out here in the bottom of the third and a 12-run cushion. And the first pitch from Frisbee is a strike. Alabama at first, Creek at third. And Blues Creek at the plate. Paris gets a lead there on third base, and that was a little bit inside and high ball. 1-1. Can't find a much better place to be on a Tuesday afternoon than where we're standing right now.
Absolutely
Chris,
not.
I'll tell you what. Wind has died down. Ground ball to go to short. Shortstop will pick it up and make the put out at second. Paris Creek will score on the fielder's choice. Alabama will be out at second, and Blues Creek will be safe at first. So the Bears with one out now score their 13th run and have a runner at first base with one out. Give you an idea, Chris, yesterday Stryker against North Central only had 6 hits on the afternoon, but they were able to score 5 runs, but that came partly on that big grand slam home run by Roofer.
This is Tyler Rouget.
Quick toss down to first, almost got Creek, who had to dive back in. Roger, who went in the last inning, went out into right field.
It'll be Ethan Retcher after this.
Roger, base hit right into center field, right over the second base bag. And just like that, the Bears have him at first and second now. One out here in the bottom of the third.
Retcher is 2 for 2 with 2 singles.
First baseman, Ethan Retcher.
And Connor Terrell will be after this.
Retcher's had a pretty good afternoon.
2 for 2. He's singled to right field and center field.
And they'll watch that first one hit the catcher's mitt for a strike. No balls in the strike here on Retcher. Retcher, the big first baseman. One of only 2 infielders that hung around after that massive change there at the top of the inning. As Creek stayed at third and Retcher at first. Then we pretty much pulled everybody else out except Nisley and replaced them, didn't we, Chris?
Yep. Connor Terrell stays in left, but
there you go.
Other than that.
That one's in the dirt. Catcher Shock able to field that one, so runners can't advance. Hey, you can only hope that the Bears will have this kind of an afternoon on Thursday when PH comes to town, and then next week when they have to play Wauseon. Retcher fouls that one off. 2-2 now. Count. Bears having a real solid year of baseball, and obviously the tournament right around the corner. Bryan at 13-2 overall in the season, 6-0 in the conference.
Getting in the dirt. Whew.
Wauseon in second place at 6-1 and 13-6 overall, and PH at 4-2 and 5-8. Just a half game ahead of Swanton, who are 4-3 and 13-4 on the season. And it's Archibald at 3-3, Evergreen at 2-4, Liberty Center also at 2-4. Montpelier at 1-5, and Delta yet to win a ball game in the conference as Retcher smacks this one into right field. That'll score a run. And it'll send Roger into third. So the Bears again have him at the corner with one out. This has just been a walk in the park this afternoon.
14-0 now, and Connor Terrell up. He's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch, and he flew out to deep center field.
And he'll swing and miss at the first offering there by Austin Frisbee. Frisbee's got to be sitting up there around, what, 80 pitches by
83.
now?
83. This will be 84.
I had to figure he was approaching that century mark after that horrible first inning that he had. Where the Bears sent 14 batters to the plate, if I remember right, in the first.
Yep,
Scored
14.
10 runs. Bears even with hits and runs this afternoon now, 14 each. And they do have, you know what, I think they,
They're short an air. They're short a hit.
okay. Couple of errors for the Panthers. So they must have called that line shot
an error.
An error instead of a. He got his glove on it, and that is, oftentimes a rule of thumb. You get the glove on the ball, and it's an error. But that was a rifle shot, I thought, down at third base. 2-2 now the count.
We're gonna keep it our way for right now.
Yeah, that's BMU scoring right there is what we call that. How's that? We score things a little different. That's how we are, though, Chris. It's just how we roll. Ground ball, second baseman will pick it up. And a nice job of the Bears. They're able to beat that one out. The throw goes wild at first, ends all the way back up to a point where the catcher has to pick it up just on this side of the Stryker dugout. And the Bears will advance to second and third.
So Roger scores.
Heading for Bryan, number 25.
Retchell will head to second on the throw, and Terrell will go to second. We're gonna give it a first baseman.
That's got to be it's got to be an E on probably the second baseman on a throwing error. Yeah. I would bet that was a pretty bad toss. Although the first baseman really didn't help much as he wasn't sure where he was going. That ball hit in kind of a tough spot. Initially, the first baseman Hall made a break on the ball, realized it was going to be far enough out that the second baseman Tinsley was going to be able to field that. And then by the time he got back to the bag, Tinsley, with the ball in the dirt, allows the Bears to advance to second and third.
This is Zach Kern, by the way, our second baseman.
There we go. Bears with one out. Kern with a 1-1 count. And Kern drives one into center field. Will that get down? Yes, it will. Center field will cut it off. Kern will have to stop at first, but that'll drive in two Golden Bears. And they're now ahead 16-0. And we're not even out of the third inning yet. Just another day of batting practice here at Ray Sumter Field for the Golden Bears.
This will bring up Jarrett Miller, who's batting for Nisley.
Nisley watches that one go by for strike one.
Actually, Jarrett Miller.
Jarrett Miller. Did he go in for Nisley? Is that what he said?
I don't know. He's batting for Nisley. Okay. I don't know if he's.
I bet he did.
Going to play catcher, too.
Now, I apologize to any of the Miller family that might be out there, as we're catching up with that. Yeah, Jarrett Miller is the junior catcher. So Nisley's afternoon is over. Miller getting an opportunity now to spend a little time playing baseball in Sumter Field and a swing and miss. And that'll be strike one. 2 balls and a strike now. Only one out still.
They called those all 3 strikes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Strike.
So we'll say Miller struck out, and that'll be out number 2. Looked up at the scoreboard, and it was at a 2-1 count. So
here's Luke Nye.
Okay, Nye the batter. Is Nye batted already this inning?
Nye has not batted this inning.
Okay, all right. So Nye with his first opportunity of the afternoon, and he watches the first one bounce his way.
Kern at first.
He'll get a little lead down at first base.
5 in already here this inning.
Still a great big gap down between first and second.
And there's a big gap in right field. I mean, the right fielder's playing very close to center field. He's playing very much right center.
Center fielder shaded over to left center, and the left fielder right along the left field line, as they're expecting something hit that way. So again, some smart hitting. The Bears have done it several times. Just reach out and poke something into right field, and it's probably an automatic double. And an RBI potentially. Bears with 17 on the scoreboard already. Little tapper will stay on the fair on the third base line, but there will be no play as Frisbee able to field it, but by that time the runner all the way down that first base line, and the Bears will have him at first and second now with 2 outs.
This will be Paris Creek.
Kind of interesting to look up that scoreboard
Number 5.
and see a big 0 in that first inning, Chris, but that's because they can't put a 10 up there, right?
Yep.
10 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, and now 5 here in the third.
Creek is your third baseman.
And Creek laces this one out into left field, and that will bounce past the left fielder, and it's heading towards the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes the second, and Creek will stop at second base with a double.
I'm giving that a hit because it bounced in front of him.
Yep, no doubt about it. He made an effort to try to get to it, but Patterson not quick enough to get to that ball as it dropped in front of him and then took a kick and went right on by him.
So Alabama is up. He batted. He led the inning off. Excuse me, and he led it off with a single to left.
Alabama watches that one thrown high and outside. So the Bears scored 7 already here in inning number 3, and it's 19-0. We've got the Bears down with what? 19 hits in the. That's going to be the official BMU total here. Official scorekeeper has them at 18.
That ball bounced in the dirt. He called a strike.
I think the umpire's getting a little hungry right now. It's time to go home.
We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes on the game time, Jim.
1-1 here is the count, and Alabama will swing and miss at that one. The cutter maybe caught that outside corner, but Alabama a little bit late with that swing. It's a ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Bottom of the third. And strike 3 swinging for Alabama, and that will do it for the Bears, but not before they score 7 here in this run.
7 runs on 8 hits. Stryker had 1 error. They left 1 on, and we will head to the top of the 4th inning. 19-0 Bears here on BMU TV. It will be Parker Roofer, Chad Roofer, and Zach Tingley for Stryker here in the top of the 4th inning. 19-0 Bears lead. We've got a couple of changes. Austin Hutchinson now your pitcher. And that means Bryce Alabama will go out to center field once again. I'll give you the line on Alabama here momentarily. Alabama threw one inning, only threw 17 pitches, 4 balls, 10 strikes. He struck out 1, he walked 1, and he gave up no hits. So there you go. Blues Creek led things off with 2 innings pitched. He only threw 25 pitches through 2 innings. He gave struck out 3. He gave up 2 walks and no hits.
Big ball games coming up this week. Tomorrow at Swanton at Delta. That's a 5 o'clock game. And then Thursday, Montpelier will be at Evergreen. They will be playing that one at Adrian College. That'll be a fun afternoon of baseball. And Liberty will be at Archbald, and Patrick Henry will travel over here to Ray Sumter Field, take on the Bears, and we will be here Thursday afternoon. Then on Monday, Archbald's at Evergreen, Liberty's at PH, and Wauseon will be here at Bryan. And everything starts off with a 1-1 count now to Roofer. I'll tell you what, when you can keep this big guy from only hitting twice in an afternoon, that's a big plus if you're Coach Inselman.
He struck out swinging his first time up.
Young guy yesterday pitched a complete game and had a grand slam, and he will tap this one to second or short and over to first for the putout. Good job there by the Bears, as that was Nye that scooped that one up. Looked for a moment there whether it was Kern maybe that was going to pick that one off. He would have had a tough throw. Probably wouldn't have had a chance to get Roofer at first, but a good job then by Nye to be able to field that ball and make the play at first.
Chad Roofer also 0 for 1. He got out on a called third strike. Well, the second time through the order for Stryker.
This is a fly ball line shot in the gap in right center field. Roofer turns first and will head to second. Ball thrown back in, and that's all the farther the Roofer will be able to advance, as he has the first hit of the afternoon, I believe, for the Stryker Panthers, doesn't he?
That's a double. It'll bring up Tingley, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out. He flew out to Terrell in left field. The second inning.
Tingley has a runner at second now, and he will foul off that first pitch. Bears up, if you just tuned in, 19-0. And they are threatening to end what has been a 7-game winning streak for these Stryker Panthers. Sounds like we're going to have another pitching change here. I think I heard somebody say something about warming up a pitcher on the out of the dugout here. This neat spot. You can really see and hear well up here. Now we need to start. We need a food sponsor next, don't we, huh?
Yeah, we do.
Tapper down to third. Creek picks it up. Long throw, and that's over everybody's head. And that will plate the first run of the afternoon for Stryker. As Creek scooped that up, made a tough throw. I'm not sure whether he had really an out at first,
I'm
even
going to
if
give
he
him a
picked that one
single,
up.
and I'm going to give the run scoring on the error.
Always want to try to make that play.
That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm scoring it.
Cody Hall now, the first baseman, the batter. And he'll stand in with one out and a runner at second in a 19-1 game. And to watch strike one go past. Foul ball, out of play. 0-2 now the count on Cody Hall. And Hall will swing and miss. Catcher not able to get the ball. Hall not the fastest runner in the world, and he'll be thrown out at first with a nice job there by the Bears' backup catcher, Jarrett Miller, to field that ball and throw the runner out at first. So the runner at second will move to third, and with 2 outs now.
Stryker left fielder Tyrell Patterson.
Tyrell Patterson, the left fielder, will stand in. Stryker scored their first run of the afternoon here in this inning, and that first pitch a little bit low for ball one. Stryker with a run, a hit, and 4 errors on the afternoon. Or in our case, a run, a hit, and 3 errors.
Yep. Patterson is 0 for 1 with a ground out, by the way.
Bears with 19 hits, 19 runs, and 1 error on the afternoon. And Patterson now at the 2-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Ooh, outside. Ball 3, 3-1. Austin Hutchison, the junior. Ooh, boy, that looked like a good pitch, but Patterson watches it go by for ball number 4. Just like that, Stryker will have runners at the corner with 2 outs here in the fourth.
So bring up Jackson Wonders. Wonder is your designated hitter. He's flown out.
Coach Greiser comes in. He wants to maybe put a pinch runner in. Yep, there we go. Here comes the young guy out of the dugout.
Give me a number there. 3.
There you go. How's that? How about 3?
That'll be Cody Michael.
So Michael will pitch run. And Wonder, the designated hitter, watches the first pitch go past for a strike, strike 1. Runners on the corner here for Stryker. Foul ball, 0-2. Hutchison looking to get out of this inning with only allowing 1 run and a hit. The lefty stretches and deals, and that is strike 3 as Wonders waves at one that really was outside and low. Would have been ball 2, but instead it's strike 3 and Stryker out here in the fourth after scoring a run.
1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bryan leads 19-1 here on BMU TV. Back at it, Bryan got some changes in the field for the Stryker Panthers as they trail 19-1. Cody Hall, your new pitcher, he moved over from first base Brody Schock is now your first baseman. Austin Frisbee moves from pitcher to second base. Zach Tingley, now your catcher. And Cody Michael, who pinch ran last inning, is now your left fielder. So it's Michael, Fry, and Anders across the outfield. Schock at first, Frisbee at second, Roofer at short, Parker Roofer at third, Cody Hall, your pitcher, and Zach Tingley, your catcher. Blues Creek scheduled a bat, but it looks like it is going to be 25. So that'll be Zach Kern. I think that's who I see.
Leading off for the Golden Bears, the pitcher, Austin Hutchinson.
Nope, it's Hutchinson.
There you go. So Hutchinson will lead off.
It'll
Got
be
the gold
Roger-
helmet on, man. Was it?
Roger after him.
Is that an honor to wear that helmet
don't
around
know.
here, or is that
I don't know.
just a personal preference, maybe, huh? I'd be wearing the gold helmet if it were me. How's that? But I'd also have gold shoes, probably gold writbands. You
Some
know?
big chains.
Yeah, a couple of big gold chains. You know, I'm not going to run any faster without the chains, so I might as well have them, right? Isn't that it? So you might as well put the chains around me and let's go. You know, maybe some gold teeth, a couple of gold earrings. You know, what the heck?
Oh man, midlife crisis for Funderburg.
No, I'd be winding the clock back, you know, if I was playing, because right now I wouldn't make it out of the batter's box if that was the case. You know, I might hit one, but they'd throw me out. You drive that ball to the wall, and they still get him at first. It's all them darn chains that slowed him down.
2-1 on Hutchinson.
And Hutchinson fouls that one away.
Hutchinson was a relief pitcher on this team when he was a freshman a couple years ago.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, you've got to be happy with the way that the baseball program, strike three as Hutchinson watches that third one go by. The baseball program here in Bryan, you know, again, it's really tough to be in this region with Defiance in the same region with you. Some of the programs that we've had, some of the teams that we've had, and then you've got to get past a Defiance team that has put so many pitchers in the major leagues. Not that we've not done pretty well ourselves, but when you get into a situation where you're dealing with some of the players that Defiance has put out there, it makes it really hard to continue to advance and head to that state level. Kind of tough to get through a team that's perpetually vying for a state crown, you know.
Yep.
1-1 to count now with one out here.
Tyler Rouget, he singled his first time up.
Bottom of the fourth. Tyler watches that one go
At the eyes, but it was a strike. So
right down the middle of the plate, I guess, huh? Ball and a couple of strikes with one out here. Bottom of inning number 4 on BMU TV. And that was a little bit low.
barring any major issues in the top of the 5th, this should be the last batting time for Bryan.
Last time around the horn here for the guys in the Golden Bears. So let's get your swings in now. Roger,
Nice play
hot
by
spot
Roofer.
to third. Roofer picks it up and fires over to first. And again, Parker Roofer heading towards Toledo next year. You know, you can just, when you look at that guy, he just looks like a baseball player, doesn't he? Got all the moves that you need. Very smooth out there at third base. Obviously, Toledo probably looking at him at not only as a third baseman, but probably a retcher as well.
Ethan Retcher is 3 for 3 on the night. 3 singles, Jim.
Retcher watches strike one go by. 2 out here. Bottom of the 4th inning. And Retcher watches strike 2. No balls and a couple strikes on Retcher. Again, the new pitcher, Cody Hall, off to a pretty good start here in the bottom of the 4th. And Retcher swings and misses, and that's it. Bears will go 1, 2, 3 for the first time in the afternoon, and the first time they'll leave a legitimate goose egg on that scoreboard.
No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. We will head to the top of the 5th inning. Stryker coming to bat after this on BMU TV. The Golden Bears, Paris Creek now your pitcher. Blues Creek will move to third base, and that's all the changes we have. So both Creek boys in, and it should be Austin Frisbee, Cameron Fry, and Brody Schock without any changes. So Hutchinson's day is done, And Austin had a good day of pitching. He pitched 1 inning through 20 pitches, struck out 2, walked 1, and gave up 2 hits.
Leading off for Stryker, number 9, Austin Frisbee.
There you go, Austin Frisbee, the leadoff batter. See if the Bears can get out of this thing 1-2-3 and make short order of the Panthers here in the top half of the 5th. Get 19 hits, 19 runs for the Bears on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. 1 hit, 1 run for Stryker. And man, I'll tell you what, the one thing I've noticed about both the Creek boys, they can bring the heat, can't they, huh?
Absolutely.
Doggone it. Yeah, they look like their mom, but they throw like their dad, I guess is what we're going to have to say. Strike 2.
That's strike 3.
Oh, strike 3.
Struck out looking.
Woo. There I was showing off and not paying attention to the numbers.
This is going to be a pinch hitter. This is going to be...
Batting for Stryker,
Number 1 is Abe Montague.
Abe Montag.
On Montag, there we go. They took our pronunciations away from us when we gave that back to Steve, didn't we, huh? M-O-N-T-A-G-U-E, Montag.
And he was not listed as playing in the field at all, so it's just a pinch hitter.
Montag up with 1 out here in the top of the 5th, and Creek starts him off with a ball and a strike, 1-1. And Montag swings and misses.
Montag is a little short.
Yeah, he's not a big fella, is he, huh? Not a big fella. Makes it a little tougher strike zone there, but he swings in strike 3.
Wow.
Couldn't catch up to any of those fastballs. Don't know whether we got a jugs gun around here or not. It'd be fun to see what kind of...
So bring up Brody Schock. Schock is 0
Stryker,
for 1. He
catcher,
walked
Brody
and ground
Schock.
out to Creek his first time up.
Down to the final out now for the Stryker Panthers. They find themselves down 19-1, and Schock will swing and miss. And I would have to believe that if you're a Panthers fan right now, you're just hoping to get out of here. So it's almost one of those things, even though you never will hear a coach say it, you know, let's just get out, get on the bus, and get back home. No balls and 2 strikes as Creek ahead of this batter. Both the Creek boys, Blues and Paris, both with some pretty good days. Schock hits this one in the air to center, and that'll do it. Center fielder under it. And just like that, Blues Creek with the final put out of the afternoon, and the Bears with a walk in the park on a Tuesday afternoon and a 19-1 win over the Stryker Panthers. Bears will have their 9th straight win. That'll take them to 14-2 over and all. And Bears will get back into league action on Thursday afternoon when they host Patrick Henry, and we'll be back here for that ball game, Chris.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the final stats after this on BMU TV. Back out at Sumter Field, Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg. It is a win for the Bryan Golden Bears, 19-1, a shortened 5-inning game. And let's take a look at some statistics, Jim. First off, for Bryan, let's take a look at their batting statistics. Tyler Roget was 1 for 2. Dalen Miley, 2 for 2. And Miley had 2 singles and 3 RBIs. Derek Nisley was 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Nate Rao was 2 for 3 with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. Chris Whitler was 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. Kyle Roop was 1 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs. Blues Creek was 0 for 3, but he had 2 RBIs. Bailey Martin was 1 for 2. Ethan Retcher was 3 for 4. He had 3 singles and 2 RBIs. Connor Terrell was 2 for 3. He had a single and an RBI. Paris Creek was 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Jarrett Miller 0 for 1. Luke Nye was 1 for 1 with a single. Bryce Alabata was 1 for 2 with a single. Zach Kern was 1 for 1 with a single and 2 RBIs. Taking a look at the visitors' side, so Cameron Fry was 0 for 2. Brady Schock 0 for 2. Parker Roofer 0 for 2. Chad Roofer was 1 for 2 with a double. Zach Tingley was 1 for 2 with a single. Cody Hall was 0 for 2. Tyrell Patterson 0 for 2. Jackson Wonders 0 for 2. Austin Frisbee was 0 for 2. And Abe Montag was 0 for 1. Taking a look at the pitching, first for the Panthers, Austin Frisbee went 3 innings. He threw 102 pitches in those 3 innings. 32 of those were 44 were balls, 58 were strikes. He gave up 19 runs, 2 strikeouts. Both of them were swinging. 19 hits, 3 walks. He hit 1 batter, and he had 1 wild pitch. His ERA was 44.33. Cody Hall came in relief. He pitched 1 inning, 13 pitches, 4 balls, 9 strikes. He struck out 2, 1 swinging, 1 called. He gave up no walks, no hit batsman. Pitching for Bryan, leading things off with Blues Creek. He went 2 innings. He faced 7 batters, threw 25 pitches, 10 balls, 15 strikes. He had 3 strikeouts, 2 called, 1 swinging. He walked 2 and gave up no hits. Bryce Alabata, he faced 4 batters in 1 inning of work. He gave up 17 pitches, 7 balls, 10 strikes. He had 1 called strikeout. He had 1 walk. Austin Hutchinson faced 6 batters in relief. He had 20 pitches, 6 balls, 14 strikes. He gave up 1 run, 2 strikeouts, 1 called, 1 swinging. He gave up 2 hits, 1 walk. And Paris Creek finished things off, 9 pitches and 3 batters. 10 pitches. 1 ball, 9 strikes. He was struck out 2, 1 called, 1 swinging. So there you have it. The line score for Stryker, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 4 left on. For Bryan, 19 runs on 19 hits, 1 error, and 4 left on base. Time of the game, 1 hour and 26 minutes.
Well, the Bears got off to a quick start with 10 in the first inning, and from that point on, really, it was just a kind of an extended practice for the Bears this afternoon. Hopefully, they'll have the same kind of success when we get together again on Thursday when PH comes to town. Thank our sponsors one last time: Bryan Ford, Creel Funeral Home, Genesis Healthcare, Culligan of Bryan, Northwest State Community College, and Wheelan Automotive. And Christopher, any last thoughts before we wrap this up and head it for the house?
Well, that was a good effort by the Golden Bears, some good hitting, and hopefully we'll get to see some more of that versus Patrick Henry on Thursday, and I hope the weather is just as nice.
We'll bring the weather, you bring the bats. How's that?
All right,
we're ready,
work.
and the stat machine, and we're ready to go. With that, we're going to call it an afternoon here on BMU TV. Bears again win 19-1 on BMU TV. We will talk to you again. For Chris Malinga, big thank you to Shar and Mr. Herman. We actually had Eric Herman in the booth here this afternoon, didn't we? Huh? Had a solid crew with us here this afternoon. We had Woody Hayes with us in the booth too, man. I thought Woody was gone a long time ago, but the Woodman was right here and doing a little camera work for us this afternoon. And then our old buddy, the #1 fan in the land for the Bryan Golden Bears, comes up, Big Chet, to say hi to us this afternoon again. Bears win 19-1 this afternoon. We'll talk to you Thursday here on BMU TV.
Good night, everybody.